Is it a ficus?
I don't know what it is.
No, it doesn't say it on the bottom. It might be no, it's not ficus. It's not that. My name is Julia, and this is my story. I went to church my entire life and grew up just thinking that because my parents were believers that I was born a Christian. Being raised in church made me feel pressured at times to always be the best Christian in the room, or to never mess up, or to never show my flaws. Going into high school, I was battling depression. I started to realize that by not eating, I could control something in my life. And so that right there was the beginning of a almost 7-year battle with an eating disorder. It just began to manifest into a much deeper problem. And so it wasn't until, the beginning of my senior year of high school, I was finally actually diagnosed with anorexia nervosa, and my parents began to become extremely worried. There were times where they really thought that I wasn't gonna make it. Those weeks leading up to going to treatment were some of the hardest weeks of my life. I was dead inside. I really was just like a walking corpse. No part of me was happy. No part of me was full of life. I was angry. I was depressed. I took it out on my family. But they took action and got me into a treatment facility in Wickenburg, Arizona. I felt abandoned by them and by God. And it was at that point where I was able to really depend on the Lord and to recognize that even though I felt so lonely and so broken, He was the one who was going to restore me, and He was the only one who could. He was there for me, and He knew me, and He loved me. In a place full of strangers in the middle of the desert, He is the only one who knew me. And I found a lot of comfort in that. Come home from treatment, I feel like I'm in a better spot, and then the relationship I was in ends, and my world begins to crumble again. I began coping in different ways, whether it be through partying, and if it wasn't through partying and drinking, then it was through hooking up and sex and just finding my identity in guys and what I thought would fulfill me. And over and over and over again, I came up dry, and I came up feeling used and worthless and angry. I really got to the point where I realized how empty a life without Christ is. It wasn't until I got into college that I really understood that it was a personal relationship. That's what was missing in my life, was that I didn't realize that He wanted my heart, not just my family's. My eating disorder and sin is obviously still an everyday struggle, but in Christ that is redeemed, and He has renewed us and made us pure and holy and blameless in Him. I do know that there is so much more life in Christ, and that He is the ultimate healer, and there's so much satisfaction in Him. My encouragement for anyone who is struggling with any of the things I've talked about, I would encourage you to bring that to light and to be vulnerable, because there's so much healing that comes from that vulnerability, and you can't heal something when it's in the darkness. I encourage you just to bring it to the Lord as well. It is something that you have to constantly choose to do, is to give it to the Lord. My name is Julia, and that was my story.